Welcome back to another episode of Navigating Docker with Captains. In this, we bring Docker expert, Docker enthusiasts like Docker captains and ask some questions and learn about their journey and experiences. Today, we have amazing guest Edith, and hope I pronounce her name right. So I will let Edith introduce herself, and yeah, take away, my Edith.
Thank you so much for the invitation. I appreciate that. I'm really excited to share some insights. So this is Edith. I'm original from Peru. Right now I'm living in UK. So I am involved in many communities related with the containers and Kubernetes. Right now I'm working as a technology evangelist at Percona, which is a company related with databases and Kubernetes operators. And that's me.
Thank you for your wonderful introduction. So Kubernetes sounds really interesting. So yeah, let's start with very basics. How did you first get involved in Docker and Docker community?
That's a good question because it was very long time when Docker just started. It was trending in the world, I think. And in Peru, we started to listen about that. And I was captivated by the logo of Docker also, because it's very attractive. You see it. But once I start to touch it, I start to look in some tutorials of Docker. Setting up Docker was really easy. I mean, the documentation, everything was friendly and easy to start. So it made me to continue doing small demos and playing in Windows, playing in Linux, destroying everything and creating the things. But also, I remember that I was also fascinated with games in that time. now, not too much. But in that time, I was fascinated with Street Fighter. I don't know if you hear about that game. Yeah, where you just fight. Yeah, and I was really wondering how I can add Street Fighter, the game, to put it into a container, but in Linux, because in that moment I had Linux. And I was struggling trying to do that and sharing with my friends how I should do it. One day, the next day, I try again, but I never realized that it needed another extra things, another extra knowledge, different, yeah, something related with video graphics that Docker wasn't able to handle in that moment, and my knowledge was not enough to solve it. So now you can run games on Docker. You can execute many things in Docker, and many things change also. It evolves really, really great.
So this is quite interesting how you started with the Docker and like it started with a game and everything. Like it started with a problem and how you try to solve with that. So this was quite interesting to learn. And I think second part for the question was how do you get involved in the Docker community? Like how you started getting involved with the people, like creating content and everything. Like because I think this is one of the most important aspect about you.
Yeah, Docker communities start to grow in Peru also. There was a community called Docker Lima, and I started to attend to the community to hear about the talks, interesting about the ecosystem of Docker. And then I had opportunity to also be a speaker, because this is a very friendly environment where the opportunity is open for everyone. You want to share something, so if you don't know, if you're an expert, you are really welcome. If you are not an expert, you are really also welcome to learn things, right? To learn, to make some things, and go and jump and start to talk about what you learn. People appreciate that. And that was my opportunity to give some talks about the Docker ecosystem and Docker registry, things that I was learning just in that time. And it was really that in this, I mean, the community was big, was maybe 60 people. For our community in that city was big, very attractive topics and very welcome community. That was my first time on the community. After that, I started to get more involved in creating communities in my city, in the city where I work. When I returned to Ayacucho is where I am from. So I started to create communities because there is no any about Docker. So we bring Docker community to Ayacucho. We celebrate the 10th birthday of Docker there, and people really love it.
Yeah, that is a great achievement, to be honest, because if something is not there and you are bringing that thing to your community, to your area, that is a really huge thing because you're educating more people about those technologies. You are making more people interested about those technologies. So kudos to you about this. So yeah, my another question is like, what propelled you to achieve the Docker captain status? A lot of people might be hearing this interview and they will be also interested in joining this exclusive club of amazing people.
Yeah, this is very different. I can imagine that you are getting different answers for many captains because it's very different. And in my case, it was because of the content creation. Before to know about Docker captains membership, all these communities, I was trying to make videos to improve my English skills, to improve videos editing, and also to make something with the things that I learned. I learned, but where is that learning? Where is that knowledge? It finished there. Should I put it in some place? Should I preserve create a history? Yeah, and make videos or make posts. Or there, this is a good way to show what you learn, and also make make me to force myself to structure my ideas to put it in videos. So I start to create videos on YouTube about Docker init, the installation of Docker, something simple, something easy. Installation of Docker on Linux, for example. And I create several things for Docker in YouTube. It was really good for the community. That was one of the things I think helped me to get this Docker Captain. But the other thing was also to create an extension. It was just 1 year ago, I think, the last year, to create extension with Docker extensions for PMM, which is Percona monitoring and management, to monitoring your infrastructure, your databases, and to get these metrics so you can easily find the problem if something is wrong. So I had a mentor, James. I don't know, you know James Purim, right? Yeah, he's a really great friend. So I had a mentor. We was trying to build this extension and we made it. Now this extension is in the database of all the extensions of Docker. And that was also exposed in Docker Community All Hands, I think, with James and me. And I think that was the thing that made me also a Docker captain.
This tells like how different things work for different people, and it's not a roadmap. It's like consisting adding value to the community, and just don't care for the status. It comes in another way. So I really like how your initial works, how your extension, and different kind of things. Because I agree, you mentioned one thing like some other captains have different answer. For sure, they were having different answer, and your content creation extension help you achieve that. And yeah, James is an amazing person. And talking about extension, of course, company lifecycle also has an extension for sharing your preview environments. And yeah, so extension are a really good place to win right now at this moment. Yeah, so let's move to the next question. In your opinion, what is the most underappreciated feature of Docker? Like, which is a less known feature of Docker?
Great question. I think that this changed with the time, right? But now I can say that Docker logs was one or is one of the unrepresented features because it gives you a lot to for troubleshooting things that also I wasn't using. I wasn't aware of that, but I feel like it gives you many things to find a problem easily and adapt to your needs or your application, right? Yes, I feel like this is a feature.
Thank you for sharing. I agree. Docker logs are really powerful. If it is used in a good way, it's help a debug application a lot. Yeah, for sure. With that.
With
So
Docker Desktop, I feel like with Docker Desktop it improves a lot because this is visible and you can also see the logs there. So it improves a lot, I think.
I 100% agree with you because if you talk about standalone containers with the Docker desktop, when you able to see the logs, so you have a really hard time going to the container and running the commands. But with Docker desktop, you can see the logs in the one window, and at the same time, just click to the terminal and just type those commands. So of course, I agree with this.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, this is a like little bit of spicy question. Can you share your epic failure in your development journey and what you learned from it. Like it doesn't matter like it's in your company, on your personal basis, any project or something. We love to hear that and what you learned from it.
Yeah, thank you for asking that. I remember that when I was starting in my career, there was some test that I should started doing. Uh, but we have these environments where final environments, right? No production environments, but final environments, I can say, where things will be run. And this is the only one that we have on our local machine. But when I was learning things, when I was really beginner, I started learning, for example, Red Hat. I didn't know about Linux, but I start to learn Linux, and I start also to test the things, but things that I did in the final environment, things that I was learning in the final environment. That's a broad thing that I learned with the time, okay, because you could execute one thing that could eliminate all your permissions for that server, right? You are not access. Okay, you don't have access, but that means have access and he can fix it. But this is an extra step, extra process that take time, also resources. So what I learned is, okay, when Docker started, and you can destroy these environments. Okay, let's do it. Let's create these environments. Let's destroy these environments. Let's learn here. So once this is created, once you learn here, try it again. When this works 100% effectively, go to that environment, apply things, and could be a little bit different, but not too much. That is one of the things that I learned. Try before, not in even in your local computer. I don't try things in my computer. I use Docker for that, to isolate all the things, right? And learn there, and then, okay, this is working, so I will apply in my computer and in other environments. That was one of the things that I learned. And that also leads me to say that I should save things, backups for everything that I have, everything that I am working, even if this is something, I don't know, some documentation thing that I am working, like a thesis, like save it. This is really safe and protected. Yeah, okay. Because cost time to redo things, right? When you lost everything. Yep.
That was quite interesting, and thank you for sharing that. So yeah, I think we learn from mistakes and we learn all the way. I think it's always a learning curve. Yeah, moving ahead to next question. So people talk a lot about engineering culture, and this question is on that. Like, what do you think is a key ingredient to build an amazing engineering culture?
I was reflecting. I don't know if this is the word, but I was thinking about that all this time. What make you a really great engineer? And there are, to be honest, there are several things. But what for me personally I consider that is must have, must to have, is a good team player. Um, right, it's great when you go to the team and you found the person that is involve all the people, without make you feel uncomfortable, without make you feel um, that you are starting, without make you feel these levels in seniority. Right, you go and you are really well welcome, and you started, and they believe in you. That is one of the things that I'm learning also to do it, and I consider that is a good thing for engineering teams.
I agree with that. And to be honest, I learned this thing in open source, like being inclusive is really important and welcoming because some people might know, some people might know more, some people might less, and less the person who know less get overwhelmed by the people who know more. So for sure, I agree 1000% with you. So yeah, I think we are at the end of the this talk interview. You can say anything. So this question is all about you. Like, is anything you are working on, or you are excited about something coming, like content or something you're working right now? Any projects or content?
Yeah, I'm excited about to learn about Kubernetes operators, specifically with databases. This is something that I didn't. I start to learn now. I start to see how this work, and there is another world next to Kubernetes, because this is a thing that related with Kubernetes for stateful applications, databases that need to save and secure your data, right? And not for a stateless application that we used to do always with Kubernetes and our applications. And I'm learning about this. I'm giving some talks about that and some running some demos, and I will be also talking at FOSDEN. At FOSDEN in February, explaining about this concept, because what is behind Kubernetes operators, all the things that are involved. And that is one of the things that I'm really excited to do it.
Thank you for that. I never worked with the Kubernetes operator, but I will have a look with that. And yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And thank you so much for giving your time for this interview.
And thank you to you for the invitation. So I follow the things that you are doing on social media. I love your tips. I love your tips with commands that you add. So I am following you. So
Thank you. So,
that great job.
yeah, thank you so much. I think, of course, it's late. It's worth. I think it's sometimes it's worth waiting. So yeah, again, thank you so much for the accepting. So yeah, and stay tuned for more episode and do subscribe and like to the channel. And yeah, see you another episode and bye.